9/11. What a starting time, which I just thought, uh, I got the blurb done about 15 or so minutes ago, maybe 20, and I thought, well, I'm going to start this one at 9/11. The title is Days When the Energy Feels Weird. My oldest granddaughter perhaps summed it up nicely this afternoon when she told me she felt weird, like she had lots of energy, yet felt tired. Yes, I know. Sounds contradictory to me as well. Yet I too have had a strange day. More than yesterday, I almost don't even feel like making a video. Is it the energy of the day which was overcast all day, with a pretty heavy rainstorm in the evening, or is it just me? Like her, my emotions have been mixed. I'm pleased with the progress of my legal response, yet feel a lot of apprehension. I even got an email from a friend who lives in another part of the country. Quote, "Wow, strange energies here. Caused my ears to rumble and even not be able to hear for a second. Very heavy pressure and strong sensation. I wonder if it happened everywhere or what the heck that was." End quote. I wonder too. Anyway, I'm going to wing it and see what comes out for this one. Smiley face. Whew. Yeah. Let me just say that my response to the court is a response like I've never done before, using information that I've been getting from Kate of Gaia and others. The heading on the page, this is the front page. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this is the front page. And the heading is standard heading with all of the case information and everything so that the court will recognize it and receive it and stamp it. And it says response to complaint for ejectment. The following affidavit, motion, and exhibits are filed with the alleged court to rebut the plaintiff's claim in this matter. Duplicates will be provided by U.S. mail to Florida Foreclosure Attorneys, PLCC, 4855 Technology Way, Suite 500, Boca Raton, Florida, 33431. And then I have a solid line and in all lowercase letters, centered, boldface, I am a sovereign witness. I am herewith making a special appearance. I am the living witness to the names. The S is in parentheses. And to facts related to this matter. Notice to agent is notice to principal, and notice to principal is notice to agent. And then I have a 2-page affidavit reiterating the facts in the case. And finally, on the last page, a motion to dismiss, and where I first sum up the affidavit. All facts provided above are attested to be true and affirmed by the sovereign witness based on personal knowledge and involvement under penalty of perjury with full commercial liability. And then the motion to dismiss. I ended with I have spoken, which is my jurisdiction granted by Creator. It is a common law document. I did not capitalize I, the only couple times that I used it in the whole thing. I did not include my name or any other names in the document at all. I used only titles like sovereign witness, what other things that I used? Sovereign witness, living soul, and legal fiction, titles like that. But I did not use any names. I did not put any periods till the very end. So from the very beginning of the affidavit to the very end, there's only one period in the whole thing. Everything else is a semicolon, like Mr. Lentz, I think his name was, indicated. Carl Lentz. That's how he does it. Of course, I couldn't do it in a one-page document. It's a different situation. and I had to include and gather together the all of the well, I have 4 exhibits that I'm going to have of showing things that contradict the case of the thing with actual filings made with the court. Courts, plural, because I mentioned 4 different courts in the document: the appeal, the regular court and the court case, the appeal court, the bankruptcy court proceedings in which the matter was actually resolved, and then the federal court case that was filed at the end of 2012, right at the very end of the year. In any case, I'm pretty pleased with what I've put together. It's only 4 pages long, plus the attachments, and it's a very unique document. I will not be signing it. I will only be putting my seal, which will be my thumbprint in red ink on each page. That will be my seal as a living soul. As a living soul embodied. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Now, I finished that by late morning, early afternoon, and the kids had early dismissal today. And when I went out to get the children, the neighbor's dog was right up at my door, at my garage door, barking at me crazily. And that's something that I don't know if that has ever happened the whole time I've ever lived here. The neighbor was up the street calling to the dog to get back here, and the dog stayed in my driveway even as I was pulling out and leaving to go get my grandkids. And then when I get my grandkids, I'm sitting there in the convenience store parking lot waiting for them to come, as I do pretty much every day, unless like Monday my daughter picked them up, and some days I might actually go get in line and pick them up at the school. But most of the time lately I've been picking them up at the convenience store. And a police car went by and then made a U-turn and came back around, and the guy showed up, the police officer, who was actually a sheriff's deputy, showed up at my car window wanting to know what I was doing in a school zone watching kids go past. And I said, I'm picking up my grandkids. And he wanted an ID. And I said, did I do something wrong? And he says, no, do you have an ID? And I said, yes. And I thought, I'm going to give him my world identification. Not, of course, a driver's license or anything that would give him jurisdiction, but a world ID. And he looked at it and he said, is this your name? And I said, it was issued to me. I didn't answer him. I says, what difference does it make if it's a name? The name doesn't mean anything. I'm a living soul. And that's exactly what I told him. And then he asked me, is this your car? And I says, no, it belongs to a trust. It's in a trust. And he had already been behind my car, and I'm sure he wrote down the plate number. But that was really, really weird. That and then the kids showed up just like a minute and a half, 2 minutes after he started talking with me. And there was no further conversation. And he just said, have a good day, and he went on with his business, and I drove out of there and came home with my grandkids. But the energy, even more so this afternoon than this morning, was just a heavy, heavy, oppressive energy. And I was watching my grandkids, and I'd come back every now and again to check the emails. I made a quick phone call to a friend, well, actually to Margie, and the kids were in a strange way too. I mean, one time I came back, and then when I went back out, the kids had gone from where they were playing in my front yard, and they were actually across the street playing in the neighbor child's backyard. And I went back there and I found them, and their mom, the little girl's mom, was home, and so she was watching them, and she watched them for about an hour, which was really nice. Gave me a little bit of a break because they had early dismissal today. But as I said, the energy, now can I blame that on the energy of the environment? I had two other people, including my granddaughter, uh, say that it was strange energy for them. Now, I don't know that anybody else did. Just before when I finish the blurb and I'm sitting here, I look at Mr. Apri's web page, Apri Wong, who's one of my friends, and he lives in Cirebon, Indonesia, and he posted a link from Step 7, Freedom for Humanity Coming. Numbers 333 and 777 are important. Love is our future now, and it's a Sirius B message to humanity from February the 23rd, so it's a fairly recent message and it's a short message that says that basically that freedom for humanity is coming, and I believe that too. And yet the energies are swirling around as I believe the old world order tries everything it can to hang on and to instill fear in people and to keep the game going and the status quo maintained. And yet at the same time, there are many visionaries that are doing what we can do to improve the lot of humanity and to bring not just freedom, but peace that comes with it, and more responsibility. And as I did in my thing, to return to common law and the rule of law, real law, not the fake law that the government puts forth. In fact, I think, yeah, I did read that too. The alleged court. It's my response to the alleged court, because the courts are not real. They're privately owned corporations for profit, and all government agencies are that way. And it's the corporations in bed with the government and the banks, and it's all one big criminal enterprise and an extortion racket, a human slavery trade. And it's been going on for a long time. Now there's people that are aware of it, like me, who write these weird court documents where they don't follow any expected protocol by people within the court. So I imagine that they will take note of that, and hopefully the energies will be such that when they receive this, they will dismiss, because the motion is a motion to dismiss the whole thing as a frivolous lawsuit that the plaintiff failed to prove to submit the paperwork needed to prove their case, that they even have a case to make in claiming ownership of this homestead where my family and I live together now. So the whole overall energies that are going on the planet, I think, are swirled. I think they are weird, because as I've said so many times, we are in a transition between the old and the new, and how it's going to come out as far as the details, I don't know. I don't know that anybody knows exactly how things are going to play out, but they're going to play out. And I believe ultimately it will be good. I do not believe that the timeline 2 will be the timeline that will actually occur. It'll be the timeline 1 where humanity awakens, and where there will be a revelation that we are living souls, and we will have our DNA activated, at least those of us that are willing to receive that energy download. We will have lots of our gifts stirred up, and our talents and abilities will be ignited, and we will, perhaps many of us will evolve into more of a superhuman being than just a regular human being that's constantly living in fear. Although I must admit, there was a huge amount of apprehension when I realized that the sheriff deputy was coming to my window and coming to my vehicle to talk with me. It's not something I wanted, and I had flashbacks to the previous sheriff deputy that I had encountered, who back in May 2012 actually assaulted me in my own home under the pretense of making an arrest, although it really was not an arrest. He had no warrant for an arrest. You've heard that story before. I'm not going to reiterate it now. But seeing the sheriff at my car door, at my window, brought back all of that, came flashing back of how I was treated that day. And for a moment there, my heart was in my throat. And it was a very anxiety-ridden time. I did feel intimidated just by having him standing there, thinking that I was maybe some kind of a child molester or something, which is ridiculous. As I said, when my grandkids came and he saw that I'm just there picking up my children from school, he probably realized the error that he had made. Nevertheless, it brought back that memory from a year and a half earlier, over a year and a half earlier. So that's been my day. I wonder how your day has gone, and I wonder how this whole thing is going to play out. Will it be freedom for humanity coming really, really soon? I certainly hope so. That's been my dream, my desire. It's why I do these daily videos. I want a world that works for everybody. And I trust that most of you, if not all of you, want the same thing. Thank you for listening. Namaste.